Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning in right now, I'm guessing you're probably in the middle of tearing apart your filing cabinet, frantically checking the glove box, or maybe just staring blankly at an empty folder. You need your Mississippi car title, and it is just nowhere to be found. But hey, take a deep breath. We're going to get through this together with a clear, straightforward playbook.
I totally know the feeling. The sheer panic of realizing such a vital document is just gone. It's completely overwhelming. Your mind immediately jumps to the absolute worst case scenarios, right? You're imagining endless lines at a government office, mountains of confusing paperwork, and literally weeks of waiting just to prove that you own your own car. It is a deeply frustrating moment.
But seriously, take a deep breath. Let's dive into this. Getting a replacement title in the state of Mississippi is actually a surprisingly simple, highly structured process. As long as you play by the rules and know exactly which forms to use, it's a totally headache-free resolution. I promise you, we're going to get you from pure panic to holding a brand new title right in your hand. So, here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the value of a title. Number 2, a step-by-step replacement guide. Number 3, fast track and processing times. 4, navigating special circumstances. And finally, 5, support and final takeaways. All right, let's jump into section 1, the value of a title and why you need it now. So in Mississippi, your certificate of title is way more than just a receipt for your car. It's a highly secure, negotiable document issued by the Department of Revenue. Basically, it's the absolute ultimate proof of legal vehicle ownership in the state. Without it, you really can't prove the car is yours to the people who actually need to know. And honestly, the stakes of not having it, they're incredibly high. If you lose your title, you can't legally sell the vehicle to a private buyer or even a dealership. You can't transfer ownership, which means your buyer won't be able to register the car or get plates. Oh, and a missing title can severely complicate insurance claims if you happen to get into an accident. Basically, without this one piece of paper, you're legally paralyzed when it comes to managing your vehicle. So yeah, we need to fix this right now. Which brings us to section 2, replacement guide, the step-by-step process. All right, let's shift into solution mode. The replacement journey really has 4 distinct steps. First step, you determine your eligibility, which basically means confirming the car was actually last titled in Mississippi. Second, you gather your required documents. Third, you complete the precise application form. And finally, you submit the whole package and pay the state fee. That's the mental map. Now, let's dig into the specifics. Okay, before you even think about driving down to the tax collector's office or walking out to your mailbox, you need to assemble this exact toolkit. First, a valid government-issued photo ID. Next, the application form itself. That's Form 78.006 for standard processing, or Form 78.026 if you want to use the fast track. Now, if you had a loan on the car that you've paid off, you absolutely need a notarized lien release. And finally, have your payment ready in the form of a check or money order. Now, I really want to highlight the level of precision the Mississippi Department of Revenue expects here. Looking at the vehicle details section, you have got to accurately list the make, the year, and that 17-character VIN. Be incredibly careful copying that VIN down. Literally one wrong letter means your application gets rejected. Now, see the title number box? You can actually leave that blank if you don't know it. The state can look that up for you based on your VIN. And this brilliantly illustrates the differences between the fast track form and the standard form. Notice how the mailing addresses are completely different? The fast track goes to a specific P.O. box in Jackson, just to jump the line. Also, look closely at the signature sections. Both require your signature, but importantly, if you have a joint owner listed on your original title, their signature must be right there on that second line. Trust me, skipping that joint signature is a massive roadblock. Moving right along to section 3, fast track timing. How fast do you need it? So the big question here is, how quickly do you actually need this new title in your hands? The standard route, using Form 7806, costs just a $9 statutory fee, but you'll be waiting 4 to 8 weeks for processing. If you're planning on selling your car this weekend, well, that's just not going to work. Enter the fast track route, using Form 78026. It costs $39 total. That's the base fee plus the $30 expedite fee, but your processing time drops to just 72 hours. Just note the distinct P.O. boxes and who you make the check payable to. Honestly, that extra $30 literally buys you weeks of time. You also have a choice in how you actually submit these forms. Doing it by mail is super convenient, obviously, but you have to factor in postal transit time on top of the state's own processing time. On the flip side,
If you apply in person at your local county tax collector or at the MSDOR in Clinton, you get the benefit of staff assistance right then and there to ensure your form is absolutely perfect. Plus, your document submission is immediate. Just choose the path that best fits your schedule and how urgent this is for you. But whichever method you choose, you want to avoid these common application mistakes like the plague. We're talking things like entering an incorrect VIN, forgetting that joint owner signature, leaving out the notarized lien release, making the check out to the wrong entity, or applying when the car was actually last titled out of state. These simple, tiny bureaucratic errors are the #1 reason applications get rejected, delayed, and shipped right back to you. So double check everything.
Let's shift gears to Section 4, Special Situations, when things get complex.
Because let's be real, right? Not every title replacement is perfectly straightforward. Sometimes life throws you a curveball. The most common complication folks face involves financing. Like, what if you've paid off your loan, but you lost the title, and the state still thinks your bank owns the car?
Well, here is the one rule you absolutely cannot ignore. You must attach a notarized lien release to your application. If you forget this one piece of paper, the Mississippi Department of Revenue will just print the new duplicate title and mail it directly to the lien holder listed on their files, not to you. A missing lien release will completely derail the whole process and keep that title out of your hands. Now, there are a few other edge cases to be aware of. If you're dealing with a vehicle from a deceased owner, you can't just apply for a simple duplicate. You're going to need probate documents or a small estate affidavit to legally retitle the car. If you bought a car, lost the title before you registered it, and it's not even in your name yet, you might have to purchase a surety bond at 1.5 times the vehicle's value to get a bonded title. And while Mississippi does use an electronic lien program for banks to hold titles digitally, physical paper titles remain the standard legal document you'll need as an individual owner. I also really want to share this surprisingly empathetic and super helpful tip straight from the Mississippi DOR. If you live in specific counties affected by severe weather or natural disasters, the state sometimes issues special guidance. For instance, they've previously advised storm victims to write the word tornado in bold right on top of Form 78006. The office will actually actively pull those forms and expedite them to help residents with their insurance claims. It's just a great example of why checking the DOR website for special local announcements can literally be a lifesaver. And that brings us to our final section, Section 5, Support and Final Takeaways. You've got the knowledge now, so let's lock in your action plan. Treat this like a checklist. First, choose your speed, standard for $9 or fast track for $39. Second, triple check that you are using the correct form, either 78-006 or 78-026. Third, ensure every single signature and notarized lien release is absolutely perfect. Fourth, once you drop it in the mail, wait at least 10 days before calling to check the status. And finally, if you run into any major issues, contact the MSDOR Motor Vehicle Services Division directly. They are the ultimate authority here. Of course, as with all government administration, we do have to note a quick disclaimer. State procedures, mailing addresses, and exact fees can and do evolve over time. You should always verify the latest forms and instructions directly through official Mississippi Department of Revenue resources before you put anything in the mail. But hey, you now have the exact step-by-step playbook to confidently conquer the bureaucracy and recover your Mississippi car title. It feels pretty good to solve a problem like this, doesn't it? But it does leave me with one final thought for you to consider. If losing just one piece of paper caused this much stress, are the rest of your vital records, your deeds, your passports, your insurance policies, truly organized and safe? Something to think about. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and good luck getting that title back.